Good afternoon, AB High School chemistry students. Today we're going to do a demo of how we're going to perform the Alchemy Lab. What are we going to be working with? We have a triple beam balance, some weighing paper, sodium hydroxide crystals, two 250 milliliter beakers, 100 milliliter graduated cylinder, distilled water, tongs, scopula, lighter. We have our Bunsen burner here, ring stand, ring, and galvanized nails here. So the objective today is we're going to take a regular penny. See here we have two pennies. One pre-1982 and one after 1982. And 10 points extra credit for those of you who tell me what the difference between the two pennies are tomorrow. Alright, so we need to get started. We need to make 3 molar solution of sodium hydroxide here. And we haven't got this far yet, but we're going to use the symbol for sodium hydroxide, which is NaOH. There's 1 Na, which is sodium, 1 oxygen, 1 hydrogen. Look at the periodic table up there, and then we're going to add up the molecular weights, and it's 40 grams per mole approximately. So molarity is moles over 1 liter. So if we have 3 moles and each one is 40, you have 120 grams, right? So 120 grams per 1 liter. We're only going to measure it out to 100 milliliters, so we need to divide by 10 because there's 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters, so 1,000 divided by 100 is 10. So we need to divide both by 10. 120 by 10 gives us 12 grams, 1,000 by 10 gives us 100. So it's proportional. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to weigh out 12 grams of sodium hydroxide. We're going to use the scopula. What's going to happen here is I've set this to 12 grams, the triple beam balance. And when this white line is, when these two white lines are at the same location, that's when it's balanced, and we have 12 grams on the scale, or on the balance actually. Alright, so now we have too much, so we're going to have to take some off here, one at a time. This would be a lot easier if it was a powder. We're just going to go for an approximation here, it doesn't have to be exact. Maybe a little one if I could find one. And that looks pretty good. Notice here, it's called a triple beam balance because when you have it balanced, then you know how much mass you have on the left side. It's 10 plus 0 plus 2 is 12 grams. Now we're going to take our 12 grams of sodium hydroxide. We're going to put in our 250 milliliter beaker. Now we need to add 100 milliliters of water to the graduated cylinder. Because remember, if you look up here, we want 12 grams of NaOH for 100 milliliters of water. This will give us our 3 molar solution. We're not going to measure exactly 100 milliliters because this is not an exact solution. We're just in the ballpark here. We'll get into how to measure, use a graduated cylinder exactly when we get into the measurement section in a couple weeks. You can see we have approximately 100 milliliters of water in there. So we're going to take the water and we're going to pour it into the beaker with the sodium hydroxide. Now we need to dissolve all the sodium hydroxide. It's going to make it a lot easier if we heat it up. It'll eventually dissolve at room temperature, but if you heat it up, things dissolve a lot faster. So we're going to light the Bunsen burner. And we're going to heat it up until all the crystals dissolve. This will take a few minutes, so we're going to stop the video here and we'll continue after all the crystals have been dissolved. Alright, welcome back. Now, as you can see, all of the sodium hydroxide crystals have dissolved into the water, and we have the temperature at a low boil. The term low boil is key here. Do not boil it, because it will splash out everywhere and that will not be good. Alright, so now we're going to take our galvanized nails. And galvanized just simply means that they're coated with zinc. And they use this for nailing things outside because the moisture will oxidize the steel if they don't. So we're going to add about 10 galvanized nails to this. We use our tongs. Just want to get about 10 in there, and then you want to spread them out along the bottom because you don't want the pennies to touch the glass, you just want them to touch the nails. So now we're going to go in there and spread them out on the bottom. Try to get them even in there. The fire is a little too high, or the flame's a little too high, so we're going to turn it down a little. Alright, now we're going to grab one of each penny. I'm going to put the 1977 in there first, and hopefully you figured out what the difference between the two pennies is. And this is the newer penny. The newer penny is going to give a nicer silver color, and we're going to attempt to change the older penny into gold after it becomes silverish. Now if you notice, if you look closely, you can see the pennies starting to silver slightly. This process will probably take about 10 minutes or so. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes, and as you can see, the pennies are both a silver color. Maybe you can look above. Kind of hard to see on the video there, but the older penny is not quite as silver as the newer penny. That's why we like to do two. We keep the new penny as our silver penny, and then we try to turn the older penny into gold. And we're going to do that right now. So we're going to take out first the newer penny, silver one. Take a look at it. I'm going to wash it off. As you can see, very silver. Copper color has gone away completely. Now we're going to take out the older penny, wash it off as well. You can see it's also silver, but the luster is not quite there. It's not quite as shiny as the newer penny. Alright, so now the hot plate has been on this whole time, so it's nice and warm. We are going to place the older penny on the hot plate, and notice what happens. First the water is going to dry off, but notice the color change. As it heats up, it'll begin to change color. Hopefully. There it goes. As you can see, it's turning into a copper color once again. Give it a few more seconds on here. Alright, now that we have it nice and warm, we're going to cool it quickly into the clean water here I have in the beaker. As you can see, we have 1 gold penny and 1 silver penny.